Welcome to the GX channel, folks, where lessons learned are always shared to you guys that love to do DIYs at home. Today, I'm going to introduce to you guys a much anticipated navigation unit from CarLink Life. Wait a minute, didn't we already do this? Yes, we did. A year ago, we introduced the 2023 GX460 navigation unit. Then shortly after, we introduced the GX550 navigation unit. I'm going to admit to you guys, we had a truly interesting experience going through a lot of lessons learned with a product that only provided the mere basics. CarPlay, AM/FM radio, and a big improvement to the aesthetics of our interior. But today, we are going to introduce to you guys a pretty badass upgrade that has been in the works for over a year and took the basic form and extended to some badass extensions to the main unit. What are some of these extendable modifications? For one, is the upgraded performance chip. 2, they redesigned the user interface. 3, the AC knobs has 2 functions now. Turning the knobs changes the temperature of the AC, while pushing the knob switches it to fan speed. This is for people that love button functions rather than touchscreen delays. They also have new personalized settings for wallpaper. This is for you guys that actually own maroon color GXs that are tired of seeing black, white, and silver options for all of your accessories. There is also an HDMI port that hooks up to your instrument cluster. No other manufacturer on the market does that except this unit. This is one that I'm going to be completely excited about. They also created a brand new wire harness to integrate all these wires into the least amount of plugs possible to keep your installation simple. The main unit also is compatible with advanced driver assist. Also another addition that no other manufacturer claims. Did you also know that this new main unit supports TPMS? We can finally get readings of each of our tires' air pressure now with an add-on kit. And here is one of my personal favorites. There is an option on this main unit where you can actually watch a video. Actually, your passengers watching a video while you're driving the vehicle without having to step on the brakes or putting your vehicle in park. You guys, there's just way too many special functions that comes with the CarLink Life Navigation Unit GX550 upgrade. We're just gonna have to open up the box and see for ourselves. Come on. Check out their box, guys. Huge improvement from their previous box from a year ago, which was a plain white box, right? But look at their packaging now. Look at this, guys. Just go ahead and open this up. See what we got here. Got nice foam padding. We have an instruction manual. Let's check this out. So it says 2010 to 2021. If you take a look right here, all the tools necessary, wiring harness, and all the accessories inside of here. It also has color diagrams, step-by-step on how to remove all of your panels. It even has a QR code for you guys to check out the installation. More pictures, and it has very simple wiring harnesses right here, and they're all numbered and labeled so you know exactly what goes where. Very easy to read instructions. So let's go ahead and check this out right here. Wow. Woo! Look at this pretty boy baby, huh? Look at this. Knobs right here, you can hear the clicks. Let's move this aside. Let's go to the inside packaging here. And what is this right here? This looks like an adapter, a Unilink adapter, 4K 60 Hertz, HDMI to USB-C. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what this is for yet. We will find out. And here is the shell. Woo! Woo! Okay, let's take off this wrapper here. Wow! Okay, folks. So you've got some taped foam right here, probably for the air vents. But right here, as you guys can see, here's the air vents. Hazard button has a click. You guys have a USB-C here, USB-C, and it even tells you it has a symbol for charging right there. Pretty cool. So you don't have to use your cigarette lighter to plug in your cell phone anymore. You can actually use these right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look around here. It comes with these locking tabs for you, so you don't have to remove it off of your OEM radio anymore like what we used to do. Remember that? Look at this. Now you can sell your OEM head unit with the locking tabs. Okay, so you have one plug down here, and you have another 5-pin plug right in the middle right there. So a total of 2 plugs on the shell itself that we're going to have to pay attention to when we do the installation. Let's go ahead and put this aside. So we got some wire harnesses. Let's move the box out of the way to check out the wiring harnesses. First, we got the main harness right here. And I say it's the main harness because, not because it's a lucky guess, because it's the one with the most amount of wiring. Let's see what we got here. We are going to separate all this and connect it step by step for you guys, so you guys don't get lost in all of this madness. We'll try to make this installation as simple as possible, okay, folks? So let's go ahead and spread this out apart here. Okay, they already did some connections for us right here. Okay, so let's move the main wire harness out of the way. Let's go to this next harness right here. This is what is this? HDMI cable to a USB-C cable. Okay, we're all gonna figure all of this out together, guys. Move that aside. Right here, let's see what this is. I have this is the assisted driver module. It looks like a dash cam. We're gonna have to figure this out. Okay, it's a dash cam and it's going to install to the back of your head unit. Okay, let's set this aside. I'm gonna keep it in the bag so I know to keep all of these together, so we don't mix anything up. And I have a bag right here that is labeled A. So this is just probably a bunch of accessories. This is here is another USB-C input, okay? You have 2 USB inputs right here. You have a blue connector right there. You have some Wi-Fi antennas and a GPS antenna, which is most likely plug and play, and you have an RCA cable, and you have another USB-C with a blue plug right here, and we're gonna figure that one out too. Okay, so here we go. Folks, when I opened up the box, I was wondering why CardLink Life had these in 2 separate pieces. Isn't that more work? Because you're gonna have to figure out how to wire all of this and then have to screw this piece right here onto the shell itself. But what I didn't realize after studying this, their design is genius. Check this out, guys. When you install the shell, you route your wires through this opening and you leave your wires right here. If you take a look at these 4 female slots right here, they connect to the 4 male plugs right here. So while you have your wire protruding out of this opening, you can make your connections freely while not having to stick your head underneath your center console. Plug them all in, and all you have to do is just snap this whole thing into place. That is an ease of installation, guys. Do you guys remember on the older design we had to remove these air ducts in order to get to the plugs in back of here? Well, these air ducts are already pre-assembled and you do not have to remove them anymore because of the new design on how they made all the wire connectors accessible to us. So far, I like what I see. they've kept the customer in mind when they redesigned this new head unit. Integrated all the wiring so we have less plugs and connectors to deal with. Created a modular system for plug and play, and thought about us when we complained that trying to connect everything behind this entire head unit while it was one piece was nearly impossible. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to organize everything. We're going to set everything on the floor right here as though it is in the same sequence as it is in the car. This is our lower Lexus OEM unit, as you guys can see right here. I'm turning it around because we are going to be messing with the plugs in the back right here. This is our CarLink Live shell. Okay, the reason why I put it in the middle, because all of the wire harnesses are going to go through this cavity in order to install behind this monitor. So the monitor is right here, okay? Surprisingly, this is the wire harness. This is all there is to it, okay? We're gonna walk step by step on each individual connector and plug and set you guys up for an easy installation. First thing I'd like to do is go ahead and work from one end to the other. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab our wire harness right here. We're gonna take a look at this large connector right here, the female side of it, and we're going to take from our main harness and we're going to connect our male side of it. Remember, this gray piece right here, this bridge has to be in the up position when you connect it, and when you shove it in there, the bridge will close and snap down and help you connect the rest. The next step, you're going to grab this bundle right here with a bunch of brown and black wiring. You're going to take the male side of the connector and you're going to plug it into right here, snap it into place. Okay, that is all the connectors you're going to be connecting behind your OEM head unit. We're going to bring our harnesses to the front right here. We're going to install this into the vehicle and we're going to take our Lexus OEM connectors and plug it into the back of this Lexus OEM bottom unit radio, okay? Now let's move on to the next step over here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and concentrate on this cluster right here. We're going to take this blue plug right here with a whole bunch of pins. We're going to move it to the side. That's our audio. We're going to worry about that a little later. We are going to look for a 2-wire red and black gray connector from CarLink Live. Okay, the CarLink Live harness. We're going to go to our vehicle. In our vehicle, we are going to have this extension. So right in back of the radio, one side is a 4-pin gray and the other side is a 4-pin white. Female, male, female. You're going to take this and you're going to plug it into the CarLink Live harness, gray. Okay, and you're going to leave this dangling because this is going to go to your OEM connector. Okay. Next thing you're going to take a look is in back of the shell, the CarLink Live shell. You're going to have 2 connectors. They're both females. Okay, the bottom one is a 10-pin. You're going to come here from the CarLink Live harness. You're going to look for your 10-pin. It's a red, black, yellow, and orange wire. You're going to connect this 10-pin with the locking tab facing up. You lock it into place. There you go. And the next one is a 4-pin. We're going to look for a 4-pin, and a 4-pin is right here. It is pink, black, and orange. We're going to connect this 4-pin in there, snap it into place, and we are done with the shell. Next, I'm going to go ahead and lift up my shell, and I'm going to start sliding these plugs through here. Okay, all the connectors that are left, I'm going to go ahead and slide through here. We're trying to mimic what the real install is going to be like. So when we slide all the stuff through here, okay, it is most likely going to look like this. From whatever is left over, we're going to take the largest harness and it's going to go to this side, one end of our screen. Let's lock it in. Don't worry, you guys can't really mix and match anything up. They're all different plug harnesses and they're all different pin configurations, okay? So you can't really make a mistake. So the largest one goes right here. Let's look at what's next here. You have an 8-pin connector on the very first one, the very far right. Okay, connect that into place. Next, you're going to have this 10-pin connector right here that has an RCA that has, it says reverse view camera, yellow RCA reverse view camera. Okay, you're going to take this 10-pin and you're going to plug it right in the middle here. Take it to the side. Next, folks, you have a black connector. There is only one other black connector, and it's right here, right next to this fuse. Okay, let's go ahead and lock that in. Okay, folks, remember that blue connector I was talking about, the audio connector right here? We're going to connect it into this connector right next to that 10-pin connector. I'm going to lock it in. As you guys can see, the only connectors left from this main bundle are female connectors. The female connectors cannot connect to anything from CarLink Life. They are going to go to your OEM wiring harnesses behind the radio, okay? So just remember that. Next, we are going to have two open ports right here. One is a 4-pin and one is a 6-pin. These both are for USB connectors. We're going to grab one of our USB-C cables that came with our kit. This one is a Y splitter with a label that says USB 1, USB 2, and as a blue connector with 6 pins. We are going to connect it to the 6-pin port. Done. Now we have another USB connector with a 4-pin port. We're going to connect it right next to that 6-pin blue one that we just installed. Now we're going to dive into more accessories here. This is your 4G antenna. You're going to take a look at this red nipple right here. You're going to remove it, and it's going to say 4G on here. And you're going to connect this coax. Make sure it's centered. Don't bend the pin. Make sure it's centered, and you just screw it in. Next, we are going to hook up our GPS. Okay? We're going to take our nipple that's in the middle of the setup here. Our cable is going to say GPS on it. We are going to center this and thread it in. Be careful not to bend the pin. Your new radio is not going to come with advanced driver assist system, okay, which is this dash cam that's going to tell you about lane changes and all that. This is actually sold separately. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and install this. It does not come in the kit. Remember, it's sold separately, okay? So if you guys do decide to install this, this pretty much goes right behind your rear view mirror, just like a regular dash cam. And the other end is a little small little round plug. It's going to go into this Y splitter. Snap it into place. On the other end of the Y splitter, you're going to have a yellow RCA and a black 2-pin connector. This yellow RCA is going to go to your audio bundle right here, to the only other yellow RCA that says CVBS in. Okay, connect that. Now this black 2-pin connector is going to go into this black 2-pin connector right here. This one says camera power supply. You connect male and female. They're both 2 pins. If you guys are probably wondering, how are we supposed to install this dash cam behind the rear view mirror if the wire is too short? I forgot to let you guys know that it does come with an extension cable bundle right here, right? A male and a female. You connect one end to one side and you connect the other end to the CarLink Life wire bundle, okay? Here is the aftermarket 360-degree camera from CarLink Life, okay? I took it out of my other kit. This does not come with your radio kit. This is sold separately, okay, the 360-degree camera, and it goes right into this slot if you guys do decide to buy it. And go ahead and plug it in. Get it ready. Now finally, for those of you that bought the digital instrument cluster, we can go ahead and plug in this right here, USB-C, to HDMI. Okay, one end is the USB-C right here. It goes right directly in the middle of your screen. The other end is going to go to your digital instrument cluster, thing onto your instrument cluster, so you can see everything in front of your steering wheel instead of looking at this screen. Okay, if you guys don't have the digital instrument cluster and you don't want to buy it, you don't even have to plug this in, just leave it out. Also have the option to mirror your iPhone or your Samsung phone onto your digital instrument cluster with this adapter. It's a HDMI female right here to USB-C male, and when you plug your phone in here into the digital instrument cluster, you can see everything from your phone onto your instrument cluster. Okay? All right, guys, now this is the tricky part. It is all strategy from here. All you have to do is take your phone out or camera and take a picture of the schematics, this wiring map right here, so you don't lose your place when you bring everything to the vehicle. But at this point, what do you bring to the vehicle connected and or disconnected? Because we can't install it the way it is on the table, right? We're going to either have to bring this to the vehicle connected and leave the OEM radio disconnected and connected afterwards, or vice versa. I don't know how it's going to be yet. You guys are probably going to have your own solutions. I'm going to have to play around and fiddle with it and figure it out myself. But I'm thinking, what if I took all this wire bundle, shoved it through this opening, connect this dash in there, and have everything dangling from behind this shell. Once I have everything dangled behind the shell, I can route it into that cavity on the top down to the OEM radio and connect everything from there. Okay, that is my first thought. And who knows? Let's try that out first. So I realized that if I'm going to take this route, remember, there is no right or wrong path. You're just gonna have to find one that works. I'm gonna have to 3M electrical tape this together so they don't fall apart on me while I shove everything in the back of the unit. This ensures that I have a secure connection. I won't have to take everything back off to do a troubleshoot later on if something doesn't work. Better to be anything that looks like it could come off, tape it up. And you got your two RCAs for your audio right here, auxiliaries. Tape them separately so they don't cause any frequency interactions jumping from one to another. You're gonna get ground noise all over the place. Okay, now we can start shoving things back here. I kind of already know what needs to go in the back of the OEM radio, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it so I have more slack and room to play with here. So I'm going to disconnect these. Okay, let's move this out of the way. Okay. There we go. Making sure there's no hidden plugs that I'm going to have to dig out a little later. Okay, everything looks good. All right. Wow. Not too bad. Not too bad once you clean up your wires a little bit. Not too shabby. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is all these long wires where I'm going to have to carry to the car, I'm not just going to drag it on the floor, right? I'm going to grab my little bag of zip ties here and just temporarily zip tie them up. When I get to the car, then I can, remove them. So before we take it to the vehicle, CarLink Life gave us some foam seals right here with some sticky side tape to it. We are going to wrap it around our air ducts in order to get a good seal so the least amount of air escapes. So you just go ahead and just go around the periphery right here. Make sure you press on it. And when you get to the end, you can go ahead and just tear it off by hand. You're going to do it for both ducts. Put some pressure. There you go. Okay, now that we've made it to our vehicle, what I'm doing is I'm cutting all the zip ties off of our bundles, and I am going to route them through the center cavity right here. I know that this GPS and the antennas are going to go towards my passenger side because I don't need to gain access to them. It's just one install, set it and forget it. You're never ever going to see it again. I'm going to go through my top cavity right here, and I'm going to route it down here in the corner of my passenger kneecaps, and I'm going to route it through the glove box, on top of the glove box, and out the A-pillar of the passenger side. I just want to get all these long wires out of the way first. And here is my digital instrument cluster. This is also going to go through my top cavity, but it's going to go through to the steering wheel column over here. There's plenty of slack for this, guys, so try to use up all the slack as much as possible. Okay. Now, what's next here? We got this antenna. We also have your USB inputs. We are going to route this through the center also. But it's not reaching right now since my thing is on the side here. Also make note of all of your empty connectors, okay? You're gonna have to memorize all of this and make sure that they're all connected by the time you're done. Don't leave anything disconnected that's coming from CarLink Life. From your OEM, that's gonna be okay because a lot of the stuff on here is already integrated. Okay, so let's go ahead and here is your Wi-Fi or antenna. Another long piece. It's going to go to the passenger side. I'm going to route it in the top and out down to the passenger's kneecap. This does not really have to be out and about. You can actually hide this in your center console somewhere. It's no big deal. Okay, guys. Okay, so the smart thing to do is to take a look at all the plugs right here and take a look at all the plugs that are on your CarLink Life unit and make sure that they're all connected. So if you're able to do so, I think the first thing I should have done was just bring this over here and lay it and sit it on top of these yellow towels and just connect everything off the vehicle. Okay, make sure everything's there and then disconnect it and then go ahead and strategize your routing and planning on how you're going to connect everything. Okay, I already went this far, so there's really nothing I can do to go back here, so I'm just going to keep going. Here's another antenna majig that's going to go somewhere down in my center console. I'm going to route it down there. Here's my GPS extension. I'm going to go ahead and hook this up now before I forget. It is actually this orange Y splitter right here with the round connector in the back. I am going to install this extension. You just spin this on here. Okay, now I'm going to route this. This is going to go up my A pillar on the driver's side, so I'm going to route it to my instrument cluster going through the top here. Cool. All right. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, guys. Now we are getting somewhere. It's smart to go ahead and 3M black tape this so it doesn't get disconnected accidentally. Now comes a part where it's going to take a little bit of skill set, guys. We're going to have to bring our new navigation unit up here while routing the wires, pulling the wires from down here, okay, and at the same time plugging these top plugs in, okay. So let's go ahead and attempt that right now. I'm going to bring my navigation unit here. I'm going to start getting rid of all the slack from all the long wires that we already routed. Get rid of that slack, guys. Okay. I want to put our OEM plugs up here, get it out of the way first, just so we could get some clearance. Okay. Get rid of the slack, pull on the slack. Okay. Once we are here and we pulled out enough slack, what we're going to have to do is start plugging in what we're supposed to plug in. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Okay, I'm going to stick these USBs down here so we can mess with it later. There's going to be an opening down here for us to take a look at it. Okay, we got some USB inputs. It's good for, I think, playing movies, uploading firmware, or doing a lot of stuff to your Android unit. If you're not familiar with that, don't worry about it. You just do everything by default then. Whatever CarLink Life gives you, then just be happy with it. If you are computer savvy, then you guys can start loading stuff up, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and set my unit down here, and I'm going to start plugging it into my OEM connectors, okay? Always cover down here with a towel and cover your shift knob, okay? You don't want to scratch up your unit, your screen. Okay, I'm going to take my main harness. I'm going to go ahead and start routing it down here into that large cavity. Plenty of space, guys. Okay, now we're going to take a look at some of these connectors here. On the top, we've got a 4-pin white connector that we're going to have to look for. So search around your wire bundle here for a 4-pin connector. And is this it? Yep, I found it. It is your hazard light. Remember that long extension that came out of your car? We took it to the table, and it has a gray connector at the end. Go ahead and snap that in. Get rid of the slack. Okay, pull it back there. Next, we have a, let me see how many pins this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have a 12-pin plug up here. Okay, so let's look for a 12-pin female. And we found it right here. 12-pin female. On the CarLink Life's side, it's yellow, green, and blue. Okay. And on the OEM side, it's yellow, black, and green, and gray. Okay, snap it into place. Now we have this large black plug. The large black plug is an easy one because there's only one other large black plug right here. Try to untangle your stuff before you start plugging stuff in. Let's plug this in. And bam, there we go. Okay, cool. This one right here is part of your OEM antenna. We already took care of that on our CarLink Life unit with their setup. So we are not going to look for a plug like this, and I don't even think it exists because it's already covered on the CarLink Life unit. So we have that portion already taken care of. I don't know if you guys want to zip tie the rest of all of this, but we took care of the top plugs already. Okay. All right, looks good, looking good, guys, looking good. Maybe I should zip tie it, huh? Make for a cleaner installation. But the problem with zip tying stuff ahead of time is you're creating this big old bulge behind your unit that you have nowhere to put. If you leave it all loose, at least you can squeeze one end over here, you squeeze another end over here just to create some space when you push your radio back. I'm not sure in this case. Who knows? I might just clean it up a little bit here. You're going to take this Y splitter, remember the brown and black wire connectors? You're going to go ahead and route it on top and then to the bottom because it's going to connect to your OEM plugs on the bottom. Good thing that CarLink Life gave you a lot of slack this time around, huh? A lot of slack here. Okay, get rid of more slack here. Plenty of slack to play around with. There's a lot of space to store all your wire bundles right behind these air ducts. You got plenty of space, okay, so don't worry about that. I'm trying to look for any other connectors. I have my 360 camera plugs right here that's going to have to go down here. You guys don't have to worry about that because you guys aren't doing the 360 cameras in this installation. I am going to go ahead and bring up my unit now and see what I have to work with here. Okay, very simple. These two air ducts is going to plug into these two air ducts from your OEM, okay, and that's all there is to it. Okay, all these yellow lock tabs right here is going to go into these female slots. Okay, so pretty simple. While I'm putting this cluster up here, I'm pushing all of my wire bundles down. I'm helping it along, and to further help it along, you have to go down to your OEM slot right here and continue to pull on the wires, so you have a lot of slack later on. Just keep pulling on the wires. Okay. Cool. All right. All right. Boom. Okay, so look at what we have to work with down here, guys. Okay, so far that was a success. We have our wire bundle down here. We have plenty of slack. Look at all this, guys. Woo. Okay, so we have our CarLink Life harnesses right here. Here's our CarLink Life harness and another big bundle of the CarLink Life harness that we're going to have to plug in. Okay, and the rest is pretty much into your OEM radio, in the back of your OEM radio. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the largest plug right here, male and female, plug it in first, snap it into place, close the gray locking tab. If it's not closing, do not force it. Make sure you're not bending any of the pins. Okay, and then redo it and go in straight. Go in straight. And when you lock it in straight and not at an angle. See how smoothly it went in, guys? Perfect. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. This one is going to go to your OEM radio. Perfect. All these will go to your OEM radio. Let me see here. So this right here, this brown and black plug, we're going to look for one that fits in our OEM harness. Okay, so here it is. We're going to take the female portion of our CarLink Life brown-black plug, and we're going to take our male side of our OEM plug, and we're going to just snap it into place. Boop, and there you go. And this end right here goes in the back of your OEM radio. Simple, right? Fairly simple. Okay, so create the slack that you guys need, because there are additional plugs that are going to need to go into the back of your head unit. Not your head unit, but your OEM radio, okay? So right about now, take a snapshot with your memory and see what connectors you need left. All of these need to go somewhere, okay? All of them need to go somewhere, okay? And make sure that you're pulling and tugging everywhere to ensure that there is no empty connector that you missed that is still stuck up here somewhere. Start pulling and tugging without pulling too hard, where something's going to get disconnected. Now look at here. You have one other connector right here that was just hiding in the corner. I didn't even see this because it's not part of this CarLink Life bundle, and it's not part of the OEM bundle. It's just by itself. Just keep these things in mind, guys. Okay. Okay. Now that I've pulled on every single wire harness that I possibly can, I can safely say that I can go ahead and install my bottom OEM head unit right now. And this lights go right here. Now remember that HDMI cable that you routed from your new GX550 head unit. The other end is the HDMI cable that goes into the back of your instrument cluster right here. Just plug it in, just like that. This next part you guys don't have to do. I have to do it because I have the option of adding an advanced driver assist system, okay? So it comes with this camera that I put right where my dash cam is in the front windshield. I'm going to route it up my A-pillar through my headrest and just double-sided tape it up there, okay guys? Normally would route my GPS thing and lead it up here. I bring it up to the glove compartment up here, right above the glove compartment. Very nice area. Just all your stuff here. There you go. Plenty of slack. This antenna right here, I'm going to shove it into my center console, just leave it down here. You guys can zip tie it for a cleaner installation. Okay guys, let's go ahead and start the unit. I know you guys noticed that, right? That very first initial screen popped up immediately. There was no delay. But if you bought the unit for the very first time, you're gonna get a boot up screen that says Lexus Infotainment System, and that's gonna take about a minute. But after that very first initial boot up, this screen will pop up each and every time within 1 or 2 seconds, okay? There's going to be no more delays like all the other older units that gets really annoying waiting for, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I want to go ahead and go through the basics with you. Let's go ahead and zoom in. If you take a look at the top left, there's a circle. The circle will always bring you back to the home screen. There's a back button right here. This is going to take you back to whatever screen you were working on previously. And now you're going to have two squares on top of one another. These are your files. If I click on that, it's always going to show you a whole bunch of files and apps that you are running or currently running, and you can choose whatever you want. I have nothing running right now. So let's go ahead and go back to the home screen. From here on my widgets, I'm going to have a settings, that gear icon that I could click on, and it's going to take me back to my settings. My left column is my top settings, and then it goes into lower level settings, okay, on the right columns. Okay, let's go ahead and go back out. From my home screen, I can also go to settings by just swiping to the right, and it'll take me to all my apps, and I have my settings icon right here. I can click on that and it'll still take me to settings. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with how to set up your home screen. Now if I go to settings and if I go to general, if you look at general, the very second one is going to say auto start navigation. If I click on this, if I turn that on, what's going to happen is every time I start my vehicle, my navigation app is going to pop up. Okay, I don't want that. I want my home screen, so that's why I turned it off. You have other options, guys. If you take a look right here, automatically open after startup. If you click on this, see how I clicked it on home screen? The second one is application before turning off engine, meaning whatever you had open last, right? Did you have YouTube open last? If you did, the next morning when you come back to your vehicle, YouTube is going to pop on, okay, if you want that. The third choice is your media, your music or Bluetooth or your FM station. If you had 103.5 FM when you left the car, 103.5 FM is going to pop up when you re-enter the car the next morning, okay? I always have it on default as my home screen right here. Let's keep it there. Next, let's go to Bluetooth. Bluetooth is pretty much basic and standard across any unit, even your OEM unit, okay? If I click on Bluetooth right here, if I click on Bluetooth set, it's going to give you the device name. This is what you're going to have to look for, SYU Android. That is the unit's name if you're going to look for it on your iPhone or your Samsung phone, okay? And if you go to devices here, it's going to show you that this SYU Android is paired with my iPhone. It's connected. Let's go ahead and go back out. Wi-Fi. Let's go ahead and go to vehicle settings. On the left column is your wireless network. I'm going to go ahead and click on my Wi-Fi. It's going to search for my network. I'm pretty close to my home, so it's picking up my Wi-Fi router right there. Okay, so let's get out of here. Now, you want to watch a movie. When we first started, we had to remove these factory air ducts. I'm going to go ahead and put it in drive, unit and take off my parking brakes. And then a new design came out. And the movie's still playing. It has not stopped. Let's go. Remember go ahead and put it back.
We had to remove these air ducts.
Let's go ahead and set date and time now. Let's go to your settings. You're gonna scroll until you see system right here. Click on date and time. And I did mine manually, so I'm gonna set my date, and that's how you set it, and click OK. I'm gonna set my time, and I also did that manually, and I clicked OK. I got out of there. Okay guys, let's go ahead and talk about AC now. There's two ways to open up your AC. You're gonna have an on and off button right there. You're also gonna have a floating button in the shape of a snowflake. You can place it anywhere you want at your convenience. I like to leave it at the top. If I click on that snowflake, my AC screen pops up and everything is done by touch screen. Okay, if I don't want to use touch screen, I can go ahead and still use these knobs down here. If I turn this to the right, you see the Fahrenheit going up. If I turn it to the left, it's going down. And this is dual passenger, see that? Now, if I push on this button, it's gonna turn to fan speed. Now, if I click on 1 or 2 or 3 bars, this is gonna follow suit with it. 1, 2, or 3 bars. See that? If I click it back again, it's gonna go back to temperature. Let's go ahead and check out CarPlay. CarPlay, I have CarPlay that's on my home screen as a widget. So it says CarLink 2.0. I can click on it and it's going to go ahead and hook up to my phone. It's connecting and it is pretty quick. See, now my Waze just showed up. That is my CarPlay. If you take a look at my 550 unit and my instrument cluster, see how it's mirroring. Okay guys, if you're one of those few that actually bought a LCD digital instrument cluster and you want to mirror everything on this to your cluster, it's very simple to do. All you have to do is you go to settings. On the left column, you're going to look for wired settings. In wired settings, you're going to click on device mode. It's going to say mirror projection screen. Okay, click on that, get out. Now, if I was to, I don't know, let's say I want to mirror this onto my digital instrument cluster. Let's go ahead and move over. You're going to scroll on your steering wheel right here. Scroll down until you get to this option where it asks you to hold enter navigation. What you're going to do is you're going to push down on this. Once it pushed down, it's going to load that screen onto your instrument cluster. See, now I have all my apps on here. Same thing right there. And the best thing I normally do whenever I use this is I put my maps on here, okay? So what about those of you that actually don't have the 550 unit and you only have the instrument cluster? Well, the instrument cluster has an HDMI input where you can use an adapter just like this one, HDMI to USB-C, and you hook it up to your phone and it's going to mirror everything from your phone onto the digital instrument cluster. For those that installed the 360-degree aftermarket camera from CarLink Live, let me show you how to set that up. You're going to go to settings. You're going to scroll on the left until you see factory. 3368 is the password. And from here, you're going to go to switchback camera right here. And you're going to choose inner 4-channel 360. When you first get the unit, it's going to say default, so it's not going to read your 360 cameras. Right here, you click on inner 4-channel 360. I'm going to put it at 1080p at 30 frames. Okay, now I kind of want to cover just the basics with your settings. Let's go through all the settings real quick, and I'll show you the ones that I already changed. I'll also show you the ones that CarLink Live guided me to change to make it a North American specific vehicle. But let's go ahead and go through. We did wireless network, nothing new. GPS is just going to tell you exactly where you are if you're going to do some off-roading and you're riding off the grid. Okay, it's going to tell you your how many satellites are being located right now and your longitudinal and latitudinal Location is right there. We already did Bluetooth, pretty simple. Let's go to general. General, you're gonna have the auto start navigation. I already showed you guys that. Custom control, if you want to display your voltage on your vehicle up here. If you don't, then take it off. Fan settings right here. I took a look at this, and this is your CPU. When to turn on your fan at 59 degrees Celsius. I didn't bother trying to change that to Fahrenheit. That is not a big deal to me. I left it at default, which is auto temperature at 140 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it's the CPU fan. We don't mess with that. And I have no need to load firmware to change that either. It's not a big deal. If you keep on going here, right here we have steering wheel settings. I am not touching it. I'm not customizing my steering wheel. Everything on my steering wheel works. So you have a back mic and a front mic. I left it on front mic. Your microphone is right here in this corner. It says microphone on there right there. And right there is also a little button that says reset if you ever need to reset your unit, okay? You also have a touchscreen right here for max AC. And this is for, I think, max defroster, I'm not sure. Okay, so it lights up whenever you touch it. Let's go through this. I think that's it. Let's go through factory. If you need to go into your factory settings, it is 3368. Click OK. So this is your touch check to calibrate your screen. Okay. When you touch these, you want to make sure that it disappears, okay? If it's not, that means the little touch sensors behind the screen is done. It is either fried and you need to get a new unit or whatever, but this is the tester right here to make sure that your screen is working. Okay. Cool, cool. Okay, so other things in factory, set screen, display margin settings. If you click on this, top, left, right, bottom, you can move your screen to fit this screen, or you can move it to fit the the instrument cluster screen, okay? I wouldn't mess with that. I leave it at default. It looks fine the way it is. So let's go back. HD reversing video format. It was on TVI. I changed it to AHD per CarLink Life instructions, okay? Right here, 360 camera. I already showed you guys, inner 4-channel, and you could choose the resolution, okay? I was also told to cancel the reverse into front view. I clicked that on. You guys can go ahead and copy my settings here. And right here, here's an important one. Brake wire for video in motion. So brake wire for video in motion is kind of important because if you want to be able to play movies and TV or whatever, or YouTube on your screen, you need to turn this off, okay? Because when you turn it on, if your car's in motion or your, it requires you to put your brakes on in order to watch the video. I canceled that, okay? So we're gonna take that off, leave that off. And I think that's about it. Let's go to wired settings. Wired settings, okay, you want your instrument cluster to project whatever is on this screen. You click on device mode like I did. Right now it shows that my HDMI screen is connected. And video output settings. Let's see what the video output settings are. Okay, so output resolution. I put it on 1280, 720. You can change the resolution depending on what you want. And the output resolution, this is to change the image, to move the image left, right, up, or down on your instrument cluster, not on this screen itself, okay? What else do you have here? Okay, let's go back. And that looks it. Let's go to protocol settings. Protocol settings. Shows your car model right there, automatic start stop, blah blah blah. I had CarLink Life change all this by default for me. prior to sending it. You can do the same customization if you want to. I think every single unit that they're going to send to North America is going to already have this default. Okay, the mileage unit, I put it on miles. Tire pressure, I put it on PSI. Okay, air conditioning switch, I believe that is the floating button. I turn that on. I want to know the external temperature. I click that on, it's right there. Okay, and your reverse video, reverse trajectory, I turn that on right here. So if I put the vehicle in reverse, you're gonna see this. Okay, you're gonna have those trajectory lines. And look how beautiful that resolution is. Do you know why I have this resolution? It's because I have an aftermarket camera hooked up to this. You guys can too if you guys decide to go for the 360 camera, or just get one camera and hook it up to here to the external camera input, okay? Lexus OEM camera, as you already know, their resolution sucks as hell. If you saw my if you see my resolution right now, just for my front camera, it's made by the same company. It is excellent resolution, and that's what I love about having aftermarket cameras installed instead of using the Lexus one. I have great resolution when I go in reverse, and that was a huge plus, guys. Okay, let's go back here. Oops, I could change. Wow, I could change to a fishbowl. Okay, so let's go back to settings here. Where were we? We were at protocol, right? Okay, let's go back to protocol. Okay, I think we did everything in protocol that we're able to. This is, yeah, I figured this one out. Driver's door position left. In case you have a car that has a right-hand driver, you know, you could change it to right. Things like that. I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that because it's gonna be all set default for you for North America. Let's go ahead and go out. Let's go ahead, oops, I wasn't supposed to go out. I was supposed to go to the next one, which is display. You could set your brightness, daytime and nighttime brightness for this, and you can set the time when it's going to automatically adjust for you if you click on custom adjustment. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not going to nitpick on that. Okay, let's go to sound. Okay, pretty cool right here. Sound mixing, I turned it up if your sound is too low. Mute audio when reversing. I do not want to do that. I kind of want to continue to hear my music while I'm reversing. I'm not deaf, you guys, you know. I did click on power amplifier. You click on loud, which is going to be your sound booster. That was not set on default. You guys need to turn that on. Turn on the amplifier. I did turn that on, and now my music is just way louder. The bass is bumping, guys. Okay. And noise reduction switch. So if you guys are getting ground noise for whatever reason, and you shouldn't, you can click that on. Okay, I think that's your ground loop isolator. And right here, we have your subwoofer equalizer. Let's take a look at that. You can mess with that. I leave everything at default when it comes to sound. I'm okay, all right. DTS, wow. Field surround, stereo sound enhancement, bass enhancement. Interesting, okay. Let's go back here. Mic gain. Okay, speed compensated volume. No, I closed that. I don't need, you know, my volume to go up and down to collaborate with the speed of my vehicle. I don't care for that. Apps, don't care for that. You know, you add apps or whatever. Location, don't care for it. Let's go to system. System is the next one here, which is kind of important, right? You got your date and time that you can set by yourself. You got your language input, and I think that's about it, guys. Pretty cool. Let's go ahead and go back to the start screen. Cool. Now let's look at all the apps. If you guys can go ahead and take a look right here. Right here, my 360-degree camera. I could look at the back of my car, the left side of my car, the right side of my car. I could look on the top. I could look on left and right at the same time. I could do, and I could keep it to the front, And here's my settings. I could go to angle set. Here's my panoramic fishbowl. I could set my car, when to turn on my cameras. I can have picture-in-picture, you know, if I go over a certain miles per hour. I could trigger my cameras to come on when the doors are open, in which I did. I always like to see what's around the vehicle when the doors are open. Check this out. I can have my cameras on if I'm not in reverse. I kept that off. There's just so many different options. Show floating button, rear camera mirror, interesting. Okay, cool. Okay, so I just want to show you guys something. How do you do this here? How do you get out of here? Okay, let's go back to 360 camera. You take a look right here. This is supposed to be my 360 camera, guys. The reason why it looks like a big old blob that doesn't look like anything, it's because I have not calibrated my 360 camera yet. I need to buy special cloth, lay it out on the floor, do some stitching to the video to make everything just come as one. And I'm not going to show that in this video because this video is not about the 360 cameras. That's a whole entire different video. This video is actually about the 550 and its sister unit, the digital instrument cluster. Some people buy it as a combo, or you could just buy one unit and not the others. It's no big deal. Okay, so if you guys see this, don't worry about it. The more important thing is that the cameras do work, and they do work excellent. Look at that. Okay, so let's get out of here and let's go back to the apps. Let's go back to the apps. Assisted driver system. Same thing. I have not set this up yet. It has a lot to do with the camera that is up here, and I'm supposed to do a whole bunch of settings. I'm going to work with CarLink Live to do the driver assist thing. I'm not going to put that in this video. Like I said, this is not about ADAS. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out another app here. We have calculator that works. Oh, CarPlay. We have CarPlay, maps, TPMS. Okay, so let's talk about TPMS. As you guys saw, if you guys can see right here, the excellent thing about this unit, and no other unit has it at the moment, is it can read all of your TPMS sensors. The thing is, CarLink Live has not released that kit yet. That kit is going to be coming out in the future, where each of your tire pressure sensors can be read by this monitor, and then you can actually see right on your screen. Is that going to be pretty cool, guys? When I get it, I will show you guys that. I'm so excited about that one also. Let's go ahead and go back out. Video settings, we already did that. Play Store, you're going to need some Wi-Fi, YouTube, video player, media. Okay, let's go to media. I just want to show you guys media. You guys got your EQ right here. Let's go back out. You guys got your, okay, audio files if you're going to hook up a USB to play something. What is this? This is your radio. Let's see here. Let's get out of there because I don't want to get sued. Okay, so right here, my media, I have a baseball game playing. Check this out. Woo! All of these different stations. Cool. So we did come a very long way, and I'm not talking about, you know, just CarLink Live. I'm talking about we, because I was heavily involved in getting these manufacturers, especially the ones that are overseas, to get it right for the North American market. CarLink Live knows that they do have really heavy competition out there. So they're doing their best as far as customer service goes, and they're doing their best to make sure that their products are ready for the market before they release it. So much so that they gave me a brand new GX550 unit and said, play around with it. I want you to give us feedback every time you feel like something is off or something is wrong. We want to fix it immediately. We want to get with our engineers to fix it immediately. and we want continual feedback from you. We don't want you to just release a video and then for us to sell a product to make money. So I've been driving around with this GX550 unit for over a month now, and I'm gonna have to say I am very, very impressed with the amount of work that they've put into this product. Truly, truly do appreciate them taking a step forward in is upgrading their CPU and their chips inside of this unit. As you guys can see, everything is super fast. When I started my vehicle, there is no CarLink Live screen that takes like a minute or two just to load up. There is no Lexus screen that takes forever to load up. When I start my button, that screen just literally less than 2 seconds, bam, my home screen was on and ready to go. There was no delay when I pushed a button or anything like that. It was a step in the right decision, thinking about users like you and me that don't have time for bullshit startup screens. Another issue that I had a problem with in the past with many units is the Bluetooth connection. Now I step into the vehicle, everything is just automatically working to get that Bluetooth connected to whatever was connected when I left the car the night prior. I'm very appreciative of that too. Bluetooth works perfect. And let's talk about that AC knob. Those two AC knobs now has dual functions. Not only does it increase and decrease temperature, they added a second function as fan speed. This is great for folks that do not like touchscreen delays. I hate the Lexus touchscreen delays. And to put more and more physical buttons into a new unit is a huge major plus. Now let's talk about other stuff that can be added to this unit, which is also for folks out there that love to modify and add on to their truck with more and more accessories just to improve the look of their vehicle and to improve their convenience factor when going home or going to work and when you have to sit in the car for like an hour or two. Not much units can claim you can add a 360 camera on there. There's not many units that can claim you can add assisted driving in there. There's not many units out there that you can hook up your instrument cluster to. The good thing about Android units is the platform is so open-ended, the options are limitless. Is CarLink Live going to stop with just these 3 different features? I bet you they aren't. They're going to start producing more and more and more stuff to add on to these new units. It's just a matter of time, folks. And how do you guys like watching YouTube or watching a video or playing something while driving your truck? Forget about those days where you had to pull over to the side of the road, step on your brakes and put up your parking brakes just to watch a video or something. Now you could be on the road and everybody in your truck could actually watch something on the screen without you having to mess around with the wires in the back. And I also forgot to add during the installation that CarLink Live did add 2 additional brackets to hold your unit in place. On their older units, those brackets weren't designed into the shell. This not only keeps the unit firmly in place, it helps push back any bundles that are in the back that's pushing the unit out. So let's go ahead and get along with cons now. One of the cons that I notice about these units is there is no official user manual. So it pretty much leaves it up to us to use common sense to navigate through all of its different settings. But to be honest with you, every time I open up an IKEA box to put something together or to open up some brand new electronic, if you guys notice in all my videos, I take that manual, that instruction manual, and I toss it to the side and I do it on myself because I just love tinkering with stuff. I like to see if I can do it myself before I have to ask for help. And in this case, we've removed the center console like 1,000 times already. I really did not need any instruction manual. And you can pretty much find so many things on YouTube to help you guys along with your DIY. So if you guys ever have any issues or problems with a unit from CarLink Live, even though they are on the other side of the planet, their customer service is surprisingly very responsive. Are you guys waiting for the second con? Sorry to disappoint, guys. I haven't found a second con yet. It's been over a month. I'm gonna drive it for I don't know, for as long as I can until a new unit pops up. But right now I'm gonna be keeping this unit in my vehicle, trying to look for a con, but haven't found one yet. I'm super excited to see what other findings come up through the settings. Okay, so peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go hit up CarLink Life if you guys want some more information. Peace out.